Hello, my name is Nicholas, or Nick, preferably just Nick, and this is a reply video, which I know is weird because that is not like a thing that happens usually. Um, sorry, I don't know really what to say, but this is a reply video to Landslides, a video by someone I know. His account is Lux Hemlock. And he recently uploaded a video called Landslides. And it really goes into his psyche and what he's been going through for part of his life. And I felt it, you know. I really like resonated with the message. Sorry if you don't see a webcam. Um, I tried to get it to work, but it works, but it's not loading on Streamlabs, which is what I use to record. So I just wanted to share some of my stories too. And just to go through some of what I've dealt with, and maybe help him relate. I don't know if he'll even watch this video. And if you can hear the music in the background, I personally don't think I could sit here without it, just because I like music when I'm talking. It makes it easier for myself. I I try to go something soft and fitting for what I'm talking about, and I'm not trying to force a narrative or anything. So apologies if it comes off that way. And if you hear me if you hear me stop talking, this is done in one take. So I mute myself for a second because I have a medical issue with my throat, and it's very gross, and I don't think anyone wants to hear it. So I will try not to subject you to the grossness of my own throat. Apologies in advance. This video is also not going to be edited. I feel like it'd be very hard to edit a video like this. Okay, so I've been depressed on and off for, I want to say, 4 to 5 years. And back in January, my birthday was on the 31st, and basically the entire month I felt like shit. I didn't want to kill myself. I'm not suicidal. I've already been through that, and I'll talk about that later. But, I feel like that my birthday is just another year up to the point of where, what does it show? What have I done? What does it show for me that I've progressed or done or proven anything to be able to survive to have a birthday when some other people would like to be in the same position I am? And sure, that's just part of it, but for 3 to 4 weeks, basically the entire month, I wanted to do nothing but lay in bed and just watch TV. I didn't want to get up. I didn't want to talk to friends. I didn't want to use Discord. I didn't want to do anything. And I don't even remember playing video games that much during this month of January, the lead up to my birthday. And after after my birthday, it was like a giant weight was off of my shoulders. And although I was still depressed, it wasn't nearly as bad as it was before. And I felt way better. I shaved, I cleaned myself up, I wanted to feel good for myself. And that's what I did. And I stopped making excuses because I was trying to get out of the state. And I'm not saying this to demean anyone, but for me, I was making excuses for myself to not do stuff. And I just had to get into my own headspace, the right headspace, and just do it. Even if I didn't want to, I just forced myself to. And it felt terrible forcing myself to do stuff I didn't want to do. And it wasn't even that much. You know, getting up in the morning in February and telling myself, you need to go take a shower. You haven't showered in a couple days. You smell like shit. You need to clean yourself. And this goes into what my buddy Ikenbon was saying, or Lux Hemlock, whatever you want to call him. Where he talks about not wanting to clean stuff up or do much, and I completely understand where he's coming from. And as gross as it sounds, it's true. You know, that's kind of what goes on in someone's head when you feel like this. And the other thing I wanted to talk about, you know, was that I completely understand, okay? Like, I take a medicine called Zoloft. And it's like, I think it's 150 milligrams right now, with a max of 200 that I could take. And I take it because I don't feel like I'm happy much anymore. And it's been very rare for me to be really smiling and happy and just enjoying myself, and I'm making hand motions as if you guys can see them. So let me tell you guys a story. Back in January of 2021, sorry about that. Back in January of 2021, I went to Denver, Colorado on my own. Well, the way there, I wasn't on my own, but I'll get into that, okay? I went to go see some friends that I've known for almost 10 years. Some of them not 10 years, some of them are like 7, some of them are like 8 years. But that's not the point. This is really a moment in my life where I truly recall being the happiest I've ever been. And it stopped. Why is it stopped? Whatever. It's a YouTube video that I'm watching with the fireplace. But I was with my friends, and you probably won't even hear me say that. You'll just see it jump. Well, okay, I edited that part out. That's why you saw it cut. Anyways, when I went to Denver, Colorado, I saw some friends, and like I said a minute ago, and I never stopped smiling, I don't think, the entire time. Because these are people I've known for an incredibly long time that have been there for me, back and forth, and just seeing them in person was the best thing I've ever experienced in my life. And I know that sounds weird because I'm 26 now, and it could just be like, well, haven't there been any other moments you've been happy with? Of course I have. But this is like the biggest one in recent memory that I've realized. And it's just, you know, I would do it again over and over and over again if I could. So, this is why I'm saying this. It's because when I did that, I dropped over $1,000 on that trip, plane ticket, and then just paying for food and other, like, souvenirs. Normally, you know, that makes a person very upset, you know, in terms of, like, money, because, you know, that's a lot of money to spend on a trip, especially when you already don't have that much money to spend in the first place. Sorry, I'm just drinking water. But it's the experience I had, and I think that's what matters. For me, that my experiences matter, and I sort of realize that if I keep doing stuff like that, I'll be able to keep myself straight in terms of, like, depression. If I keep doing things that make me happy, that I know make me happy, I can fight back and get out of this headspace of being depressed. And I encourage everyone who's watching this, if they feel a little bit depressed, to talk to their friends. See what you can do. You know, see what if you're close. Close enough to meet up anyways, and it's not going to take $10,000. And on my trip to Denver, I have a friend here where I live in Michigan that lives in Michigan. Obviously, I don't want it. Whatever. The point is, we got to meet up in the Detroit airport and hang out, and then we got to sit next to each other on the plane. It was amazing. That's what I was gonna say about my friend that was with me. But on the way back, I was alone because we had different away flights. And I'm gonna tell another story, and I'm just gonna keep doing this for basically the remainder of this video. Maybe just so the person I'm replying to can see where I'm coming from too. I'm autistic. I'm on the spectrum, and I found out when I was about 15, 16 years old. I don't remember exactly which year. And I did not want to believe it. I cried learning this information, and you know where I was told? I was told in a car ride on the way to the hospital or clinic, whatever you want to call it, because they were going to talk to me about it. And it's the worst feeling you can have with someone, especially a parent, when they tell you that, yeah, we lied to you your entire life. You are actually special, and then that, like, you have a mental disorder. And it's really frustrating to learn that so many years later, because I've always wondered why things were different for me. Why I was in different classes from my siblings. Why I was in a different learning environment and people treated me differently, and I never understood. I just thought that was normal for the most part. You know, I just assumed maybe my other family members were taking the same thing, but then when I got to the same grades as them, I always questioned, like, why do they have this kind of homework? Why is it different? Why? I don't understand this. I don't deal with that. And when I got to high school, I really kind of realized that, yeah, I wasn't going to be in the same classes, and that I was never going to be part of normal people work. And this is something I struggled with until I was basically in my 20s. And I don't think I told I don't think I've told many people this. Not even some of my longtime friends, struggling with the idea of being autistic. But back then, I was sad, and I think this is the first time I really felt depressed. I think I had moments before that, and I definitely had therapy because I was autistic. I needed help, professional help for certain things, and a lot of this I don't remember because I was young, and I mostly told stories, and I've seen some videos and all that. But when I got to high school, I was bullied, and this was really my first big stint of depression. And this was freshman year, 9th grade. And actually, no, this is the second biggest thing I've had to deal with, and I'll go to earlier points in my life to talk about that in a minute. I was made fun of for my weight. I'm still overweight. I'm a fat ass, okay? And that's not taking it lightly. And I'm trying to lose weight. But in high school, I cared more about the opinions of others than what I thought. And this guy I knew from elementary school, I realized he was the same person I knew in elementary school, was in the same class as me, and he would not leave me alone. He would make fun of my weight. And I took it wasn't woodworking, it was... It was a class that involved making stuff, but it wasn't woodwork, and I can't for the life of me remember what it was. And I had nobody in this class that I knew, and it was more of a mainstream elective, and people really should have thought about it more before putting me in there. But I wanted to do it because it looked like fun. And those people there, people sat on a table nearby because they were like big tables, and people sat at those to do work because it was a smaller class, and you needed bigger tables to make these things, these whatever. And they would constantly just make fun of me, make fun of my weight, say stuff to upset me. And it worked. I let it get to me, and I started getting depressed because of it. And nobody believed me except my family, my mom specifically. And whenever we talked about it with anybody at the school, no one believed me. They said he needs proof. They don't have security footage of this happening, and that kids are just being kids. I was told this. My mom was told this, and she wasn't having it. And so I told my mom I wanted to get out of high school. I want to drop out. And she said, no, you can't do that, but we will see if we can get you into homeschooling. And I'm like, okay, that's fine by me. I'd rather do that than go in person. And I was depressed. I told and this all started after I told my mom I wanted to kill myself. I don't remember why I thought so I don't know why I told my mom. Usually, from what I hear, it's really hard to say that, and that if you do, you're brave, whatever. I don't know how true that is. But she got me help. I went to therapy. I left the school, but then the school tried telling me, hey, wait, please come back. We'll try and do better. And then they sent the bus one last time, and I did not go outside to the bus. I agreed to their terms and conditions, but I decided just, you know what? I changed my mind. I don't want to go. I don't want to keep dealing with the same stuff I've been dealing with for months. And sorry, I'm getting a little emotional here, just like remembering all this. Skipped the bus and lied to my mom. I told her that the bus never showed up because she was still asleep when the bus was supposed to be there. I knew the bus was there, and some of my siblings knew the bus was there. But they didn't say anything. They were in favor of me at that time because I was like, they knew what I was going through. And my mom told the school the bus never showed up. I'm like, yeah, it did. I'm like, no. And I feel bad because I lied to my mom about it. But I was homeschooled for the rest of the year, and then we moved to a smaller city. It's actually so small it's considered a village. It's called New Haven. Don't live there anymore, but that's where I was for several years. But that's not important to the story, at least yet. Even before that, I was in, I believe 4th grade or 5th grade. It was one of the two. I do believe it was 4th grade. I was in special ed. And like I said earlier, I didn't realize what special ed was. I just thought it was a normal class. I just thought that was normal and thought maybe my siblings were taking the same classes even in higher grades than I was. And in this year of school, there was a teacher named Mrs. Bright, which is a kind of a misnomer for who she actually was. She did not like me. And when I say she did not like me, it got to me for years, and I just never really talked about it after that year of high school. Elementary school. I never talked about it much. But she would... So, in the classroom, there was a bunch of seats, and then facing the desk, like, normal. But off to the left, at the front, like, near where the teacher's desk would be, from, like, facing forwards, there was a little kitchen area with a water fountain, a sink, and a personalized bathroom for the students to use in this room so they weren't wandering the halls. And so I drink a lot of water. I drank a lot of water even as a kid, and I'm doing it right now. one of the earliest things I can recall from what she did to me was, I asked to get to get a drink from the water fountain because we were in a little bit of like a free period, you know. We just got done with the lesson. We were working on our work, and if you got done with your work early, you could play with whatever some of the toys were in the room. And so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna ask for some water from the water fountain. And so I'm like, yeah. She was like, yeah, go for it. And as soon as I go over there, she like literally pushes me to the ground and out of the way and said, "You are taking too long. This other kid, they can go and get it. It's that you're taking forever." And I just literally walked up to the water fountain, and no one believed me. No one believed me. And my mom did her best to get this teacher fired. But so there were some other instances of child abuse from this teacher. Alright, and she wasn't the sub or anything. She was like the actual teacher. For one of the days, we had to bring in a recipe to the classroom. Like, any recipe. Like, if it's one from your family, bring it in. And we all brought in recipes. And I brought in a one-page piece of paper that was the original copy, and there were no copies of it from my family's cookbook, from a generational cookbook, and it was something I believe my great-great-great-grandmother made, or great-great-grandmother, I'm not too sure. In her handwriting, and her notes, and I was told by the teacher to write it down on a piece of paper so that way it was a copy in it, we could take it home. And I'm like, okay, that sounds good to me. And then this is basically what the whole assignment was. Personally, I think this Mrs. Bright, this teacher, just wanted to take the recipes, go home, and see what she could make out of them. And I'm not going to be mean to her, okay? But she was a little on the big side. I mean, I was too, and I still am. But I think she wanted to do it just so she had some recipes to cook or something. And we go out for lunch. We go to lunch, which is in the lunchroom, obviously, the cafeteria. Eat in the special ed room, but we were heavily supervised by some of the teachers. And I get my lunch, but I'm called back to the classroom because I didn't finish my assignment in time. And I was told that if that my recipe, okay, so what happened was I finished it, and I left it on my desk to go eat lunch, but I was called back to the classroom, and I was told that I never turned my assignment in of copying the recipe. And I'm like, what? I literally finished it. And she's like, well, you can have this one that I brought in, and you can write this down, but you can't eat your lunch until it's finished. She told a child that he couldn't eat his food before finishing the assignment. Alright? That's fucked up. Sorry for my language, I know I've sworn a little bit in this video. And I'm looking around first, I'm like, let me look for it. And I find it in the garbage with my name on it. My name on it. And the original copy, both crumpled up in the trash can. And I pull them both out. She's like, don't touch that, that's garbage. I'm like, but these have my name on it, I can see it right there. And I pull my assignment out and my original recipe out. Or the original copy of the recipe. And she looks at it and goes, that doesn't look like your name, even though it was my name. And my handwriting was bad, but she's like, just leave it. It's probably something I threw away. Something along those lines. She was like way meaner about it. And so I spent literally the entire rest of the day writing down this assignment while the other kids were having fun and not really doing much. They got to play with toys, relax, listen to music that we had in the room, and whatever, and play with the toys. And I was left there until the end of the day with this assignment. And this recipe was like 3 pages long. I'm not kidding. And I think it was done on purpose because I think she had it out for me. And I finished at the end of the day, and I got Bosco sticks. That was my favorite thing in elementary school, was eating Bosco sticks. And she told me that I couldn't eat them until I finished it. And my sister comes in to pick me up, and then she sees I still have food. And she just deadpans to the teacher and basically goes, what the fuck? Basically Like, she didn't say what the fuck, but it was basically like, I keep saying basically a lot, but she looked like she was gonna kill the teacher. And I get to eat my food in the car on the way home. And I'm talking to my sister about it, and we tell my mom, and my mom's like, okay, that's enough. And she goes on a crusade to get this teacher fired. I, and you know, this has personally been a very traumatic event for me. And I still think about it till this day. It's really always bothered me, including, you know, wanting to kill myself in freshman year of high school. Both of these events have kind of stuck with me, and I don't really talk about it a lot. And that's because I don't need to. I think enough has been said, but I just wanted to share that, or share those stories here, and I want to let Luke know, Ikenbon, Lux and Hemlock, whatever you want to call him, I want to let him know that he's not alone. I completely understand where he's coming from, and I really hope you feel better, dude. We all struggle. I'm right there with you, and I appreciate everything you've done for the community that I am a part of with you. You are awesome, and I know you can pull yourself out of this and be who you really want to be. And I know it's not as easy as that, but I know that you can do it, and I believe in you, and there's others that believe in you, including Saru, alright? He believes in you. Let me tell you that right now, and I'm sure he's going through some struggles too, but I'm just sharing this as a personal message to you, that I really hope you get better. And let's hope for a better 2023, or better part of 2023. And yeah, I'm signing out. Thank you for listening to what I have to say, and I really hope you end up doing better, Luke. I want you to know that. Thank you for your time.